Hi everybody, this is Jewels by Jude. I want to show you a piece of jewelry that I did today, and I want to show you what I did and how I did it. This is a foil mosaic that I did earlier today. It's very similar to the one that I did earlier this month. So let's get started. Today I'm going to use a different type of foil. They're like foil sheets, foil pieces that I have, because I have this left over from what we were working on earlier I told you about, and you can look at a video that I have. All you need to do is go down the playlist and you'll find it. And these are my bezels, and these bezels are what they call blank bezels, and they already have a bail on them, so there's no glue on. This is my scrap clay. It's another way of using my scrap clay for a project, and I'm going to cover it with this foil that you can get at Michael's, and you can probably get it at Hobby Lobby as well. I capped this piece with a Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. I did not use UV resin. I kind of like the way this comes out sometimes, so I tested this. I wanted to see how this came out. It came out fairly well. It's a little bumpy. It's part of the design. It's not really a defect in my opinion. It adds to the dimension of the piece. So let's get started. This is very, very easy to do, but it can be very, very, very messy. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these clay, this one the clay. They are foil flakes, and it's a tricolor gold, and I'm just going to spread that across my clay. This foil clings very easily, much better than the sheets do, which are over here. That's what I used here. And I'm going to combine them. It really doesn't matter to me what color the clay background is too much, because I have black that I'm using here, and if it shows through, it'll be against a blue and a gold and a silver, and you can see these colors over here, pink and all sorts. And that's kind of what I'm going for. And I'm just going to tear this apart as I did earlier in an earlier tutorial. Excuse me, my tongue tied there a little bit. I'm just going to rub these down. You see, you can probably already see these are sticking pretty well. I'm going to pick it up and show you just in case. And I'm just rubbing them against us. This can come if you sneeze, if you cough, if you breathe too heavy. These flakes go everywhere if they're not already attached to something else, either in a sealed bag or a nice piece of clay that you got laying out on your table here. And as I said, you can press and pick it up, because the top pieces will come off. Your pieces below. Now, if you get a bag like this, sometimes you can pick out, not how well you can see the colors in there. It's a rose gold in there. Sometimes you can pick them out, and you can kind of estimate if you pick out the right pieces where you can get a more even tone if you so choose to. It's pretty random though otherwise. I'll see, I just said pretty, and they all went flying. I'm breathing too hard and they're all and believe me, this is a mess. If you just breathe too heavy, they go flying, and it's kind of like look, it's already attached to me over here. There we go. But what a beautiful, beautiful color that comes out on these. And it's a gilding. A lot of people call it foil gilding, and they use it in other mediums. There we go. We're getting there. I want to cover most of it. I don't want too much blue to show up because I have some black going on, but there will be some blue coming out. That's okay. I'm just going to tear it like I did the other day. It's not going to matter too much. I'm going to put it in the oven, and it's going to be stuck permanently, and after that I'm going to put on a cap. I call it a cap of resin. Well, this is like a resin. The Mod Podge is like a resin. It acts like one. It works well. It has the same issues, but not quite as much as some of the other resins. I see a few holes here. I'm going to try not to breathe too close to this thing, because now it's getting, there we go. Perfect. Lean over and look and see. It even has some blue tone gold to it. I think it's pretty well covered. I want everybody to remember, if you have any questions when you're watching the videos, if you leave a comment below, I check them every day because I almost do a video now almost every day. And if there's something that you want me to try out and say, hey, is this really as easy as it looks? I usually have most of the supplies and I can do the hard work for you and let you know. It would be my pleasure. I don't mind testing procedures and projects out. I do it all the time. I'm going to try to put this stuff back into the bag. I almost did an impossible thing here by getting most of it out of there. So, alright, I'm going to lay this piece over here, this extra piece of clay. And we're going to start tearing this down and placing it in our bezel. Let's see here. Let's do a teardrop, okay? I'm going to do all different kinds. But today and for right now, check your blade. Make sure your blade is down, the razor part. Be careful if you're pulling anything off of it. I'm going to lift this up so I can tear pieces off. I want to cut a few pieces first, because I don't need to handle that big piece for these pieces here. I'm going to place them inside the bezel, as so. It's not going to really go above the bezel outline, and see how some of the clay, the blue is coming through. I want to put some more flash in there, so I'm going to put some, let's see here, something like that. Pull these out in the front. It's kind of hard sometimes when you're doing it to the camera. You YouTubers out there, you know what I mean. Here's some more color. You can lay it over top if you like. There's probably going to be plenty of ideas that you come up with that I haven't yet, and I'm counting on that. And I would love very much to see some of your examples of this or any other technique that you might want to share with me, because I love learning new techniques. I love it. I'm going to keep it in my hands. Alright, we need some more of this. I'm going to mix this up a little bit, color-wise. Make it look like a little bit of a mosaic going on there. Let's see, I want to use up the rest of this clay. I could make beads as well to go with this. It would go very well, as a matter of fact. Would match very well in that bezel. See how close I'm coming? I get some of this edge here. Okay. Let me see. Oh, here's some purple. There we go. Some purple. Now this I'll press down a little bit. The one that I did earlier in the month, I did less pressing. If you really wanted to, you could roll as well. That's completely up to you. I feel like that's an empty space there, so I'm going to put a piece of blue there. I don't want any empty pieces. I'm not going to put any Swarovski crystals. I know, it's very unlike me. I love those crystals. Let's do a square one, shall we? I'm going to put a larger glob. Nice, I did. I called it a glob. I'm going to smooth it in there. And I never know where I'm going, so don't ask. Where are you going with that? I don't know. I don't know till I'm done. That's the answer. Sometimes I don't even know when I'm done. Alright, now, let me pull some of these pieces off here. That's the thing, you can just do whatever you want with this. Have fun with it. That's for sure. Let me take a look. You know what? I think this is finished for me. I don't know. I've got that abstract streak in my blood. That's what I came out with. Alright, here's a heart. And again, I'm going to make some of this blue clay into some of my major background and add. See, this has some of the rose gold in it. Hope you can see that. And what, you know what I am going to cut? Where's my blade, my tissue? I don't want too much blue coming out. I really use the blue just to use my scraps up, just like you would with beads. So I don't want my pendants today to be too much blue. I don't mind it coming through. I think it's actually quite attractive. But I don't want it to take over my piece either. And it won't. It won't. Yeah, I don't know if you can see all this, but it's quite a mess. We can get it cleaned up. As you can see, I have some more of this. I'm going to put some more of this clay right down there. That was my phone. This Thursday, I'll be setting up for a show over in Orlando, and I'm going to do a video. It's a home show, and I will be posting it on my Facebook page. So that will give you something to look forward to in addition to what we already do. If you're a follower, Patreon. It'd be great for y'all to see how I get that set up, because I'm rather new at that, but I have someone that will be working with me who has been doing it for 20 some odd years, and she's teaching me a lot of nice things, and I'm really grateful to have her. If I can get her on camera, it would be great, because I'd really love for you to meet her. She's a great person. And she's extremely talented on top of it all. And I'm lucky to know her. And that's another thing that you might want to do is, if you're watching from afar, you might want to get involved with some of your local crafting clubs, because that's for sure where your talent will be. And usually crafters like ourselves love to share and teach, and a lot of times you can get that, I wouldn't say free, but I would say a bargain rate, and it's just something that you can't put a price on anyhow. I know I can't. There's a few things I don't like about this one. Let's see if I can fix it. Oh, here we go. It's right in front of me. There we are. I think like it had a couple pieces of gold. I didn't want that showing up in the middle of some of this color. So I'm just going to do something like that. I think we're going to have to go all the way around this one. This is coming out a little bit larger than I originally wanted it to. I'm going to push it down and show you kind of how it looks. And I'm pushing this down into my bezel right now, which is a little different than what I did the last time we did a project like this. And the reason why that is because I need to put some of the dimension on some of these. I know you saw me do this. Take some of my fingerprints off. The parchment paper. And you can also varnish with this too, which is really what I'm doing as well. And then run my fingers right along the edges. to take off some of that excess. Let me take a look. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take two of our best pieces, even the one that's iffy. I'm not sure about that yet. Might need a Swarovski crystal. Alright, I'm going to cut this and splice it back after we bake it, and then I'll show you how to put on the capping. Thanks. Hi everybody, we're back. I want to show you what we're going to do next. We just got these out. They are cooled. They baked on 200 for 30 minutes. This is the other one that came out, the teardrop. And this is the heart. And the heart will be the only one that we do not cap with the Mod Podge Dimensional Magic, okay? The reason for that is because it is above the bezel line way too much. So there's no room for leakage. And it will just completely go over top of the Mod Podge. Will leak right off of the bezel, and it will probably serve no purpose at all at that point. So we're going to work with these two pieces here. These are our empties. We're going to put them aside. We didn't use them yet. This is our Mod Podge. Back up a little bit. I am not, maybe I should move up a little. There we go. I'm not going to be able to tip these over to show you. I want to show you again the end result of the one that we did today. Let me show you this as well. And this. Now, I'm going to explain, and hopefully you can see. This is parchment paper. You saw me just rip it apart. And let me put this back here. It doesn't get in the way. Maybe there. Mine is open. I'm not going to shake it. Do not shake it. Okay? I'm going to get starting to see the bubbles already there. I'm going to start in the center of my piece. I'm going to go around gradually. I am barely pushing on this bottle. I am just going to layer this as gently as possible. I'm not going to brush it. Some people do. I do not. I have very, very good results by not brushing it. I'm just going to follow this all around. Now, I'm going to tell you that the polymer clay does not generally shrink. If it is, it's undetectable to me. However, resin does, and so does high dimension Mod Podge Magic. So you want to bring this out with the tip, like I'm doing here, to the edge. If you can get it to the edge, you should be okay. Then you're going to examine for bubbles. The only thing I could say to you about this Mod Podge is I have very few bubbles, if any at all. Now what may happen is it may drip over, and we will be able to clean that up at a later date, or even now, depending on how much it is. Just want to make sure that I've got a clear, complete piece here. And I'm filling in around the edges. I am not pushing. The gravity is pulling this out of the bottle. I assure you I'm not squeezing on this bottle. There will be a time at which this bottle might need to be squeezed. It's a brand new bottle. But now is not that time. Now it's very cloudy. Again, I'm going to start in the center of my piece and work my way out. I promise you, I'm not pushing on this bottle. It's just dripping out right now. And I'm just spreading it with the tip. And I see no bubbles at all in any of my pieces today. Oh, there's one there. I had this. I spoke too soon. If you do see a bubble, you can pull it off to the side. A lot of times it'll pop. Sometimes it won't. I spoke too soon. Look at that. Look at that. Of course, you know it is not the end of the world, especially if you work with any types of resin. You can get a toothpick, pop it, a stick, end of a paintbrush sometimes works. This is going to take a while to dry, and I'm going to bring back to you tomorrow. I'm going to end the video this evening because I'm doing it this evening. It takes about 12 hours to get to a point where you can touch it. I think 24 hours at least before it cures. So a curing point. It's pretty safe to do just about anything with at that point. Sometimes when you're working with these pieces, now see I can move it around, it has not dripped over. You want to let it set for a second or two. And you want to turn your head to the side and try to make sure that you've pulled it to the ends of its, you know, at the ends of the bezel there. Sometimes it's slanted because my bezel is up. You could prop that up. You can do that. See that? Now I gotta go back over. It's not really drying very quickly, so I have plenty of time. And it will shrink a little. That's why you want to pull it over as close to that side. If it's tilted, you want to make sure that it settles. And then go back over it, because you should have plenty of time to assess that. Looking pretty good, everybody. It's very cloudy, which is fine and normal. It clears up as it dries. I really like this much better than the resin. Although some of the ice resin seems to be crystal clear, I don't see much difference with this piece than others. As I said, this feels a little bit bubbly, not bubbly, but bumpy. And all of the resin has dried in between all of the cracks, and it has a very nice cap to it, and it's very organic. That's the new word, organic. So I like it the way it is, and I'm gonna stop the video here and pick it up after it's cured, and you can see the actual pieces that we did. See you then. Hey, we're back. As promised, I told you we would come back and I'd show you the end result. This is the square mosaic piece that I did with the clay. Hopefully you can see that. And it is bumpy as desired. It did drip over a little bit, not much. And we just have a little bit of the Mod Podge on the back. We'll just take that off. And these are this was the piece that I showed you in the beginning of the video. This is the teardrop piece. This is the square piece. This is the heart that we did not add the Mod Podge to. And these are the blanks that we used to create our pieces with. And this is the Mod Podge. And this is the dimensional magic that we use to put on the top. Have fun, everybody.